Right, here we go. On tonight's episode, the Knicks' new president of basketball operations, JL's Leon Rose, has broken his silence finally in a
Yeah,
sit-down interview with Mike Breen on MSG 150. And on tonight's episode, we're going to give you our key takeaways from the Leon Rose interview, and we want to hear from you guys, the fans. The phone lines are up right now, 657-383-1509. So let's get right into it. CP from Knicks Fan TV, my man JL's from Knick of Time Show. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. You guys already know. All right, JL's, let's get into it. These type of interviews or press conferences, you're not gonna get too much concrete, right? You're gonna get a lot of political answers and a lot of spin and a lot of positivity, which is okay. It is what it is. But the main point is just to have your new hire come out and address the people.
yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So I'm gonna give my quick thoughts. Just let me know what you thought. I mean, in terms of just concrete, the only thing that was really concrete was in terms of the coaching timeline. He said they expect to have their coaching search completed by mid to late July.
Yep.
Mid to late July on the coaching search, and spoke very highly of Mike Miller. Said he was certainly in the running, but they will make a decision by mid to late July.
Exactly. Yeah. He seemed very excited about the prospect of finding or just searching for coaches to see what everybody has to say. Maybe I'm looking too much into it. It's like, why are you so excited if I'm here already? Like,
well, I think, as he said, it's educational for him. He's the president of basketball operations, and I think that's what should be done. He should be getting educated by a lot of these different coaches, as I've said in the past, understanding the different philosophies, picking brains, understanding what their approach is to the game, to player development, to style. This is all new to him. This is a whole nother side of the table for him. So I think this is a good and thorough due diligence process that he should undertake. Even if he thinks Tibbs is his guy, maybe he gets blown away. You never know. Maybe some of these guys end up building out a staff. You never know. So I think this is a good process for him to undertake.
Yeah, definitely a good process. I mean, it doesn't hurt to look for other voices to see where that can take you.
Right.
Just like how, when we interview every draft prospect, you never know what's going to happen down the road, even if the coach doesn't come here right at this second.
Yeah.
You can still kind of, produce fruit later down the road.
Facts. You never know. You never know. So can't fault him for talking. Now, this was the funniest part of the interview. I don't know if you guys at home heard this. Breen asks him, JLS, to talk about the current roster and who he feels like will be back next season. So listen to this. I'm about to pull this up for everybody at home to hear. Let me pull it up.
Right now, I think Mitchell Robinson and RJ, two young core pieces. I look forward to, working with Kevin. I think he's just starting to scratch the surface. Frank Ntilikina, given the right circumstances, I think can really prosper. And Dennis Smith, that's a special talent right there. And we have some solid veterans, and Julius coming back.
When you were an agent and you had a young...
It seemed like they cut it right when he started mentioning the veterans, and they cut it right at Julius, JLs. Wait, hold on. I got you on mute. Yeah, they cut it right at Julius.
Yes, they did.
So he was probably going in like, we got Julius, we got Bobby, we got Ellington. Dudes at MSC was like, whoa. We don't know if Dolan's cutting those checks, but he just hold your horses.
Exactly. Like, we might be dropping half the roster. I don't know if we should be mentioning that.
He said, hold your enthusiasm. They cut it right at Julius.
Yeah, pretty much. Everybody who wasn't under a contract, they didn't. Yeah. Everybody was up for grabs.
Yeah.
It was like, okay.
All the non-guarantees are like, yeah, we're not gonna talk about those guys.
Nah, we gonna edit that out.
That was pretty funny. But he did mention RJ and Mitch as the pillars, rightfully so.
Mm-hmm.
He mentioned Frank.
Did mention Frank.
He mentioned Kev just getting started.
Right, he did mention scratching the surface.
Scratching the surface. Just
mentioned Kev. I know they're aware of what's happening.
Yeah, you're right. They're aware. Did mention Kev. And he mentioned DSJ Ellis as a special talent. What do you think? What is it? I mean, listen, again, all this stuff is very politically correct and everything, but that was very interesting.
I mean, listen, like I said, everybody under contract, he's mentioning. To me, what makes a good interview now for us, for Knicks fans, is not new information.
Yeah.
But what makes a good interview for us is if we don't end up being like a headline somewhere for saying something stupid.
Right. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And you know, when you say that, the one thing that they did start the show off with was when Breen asked them about, you know, how the impacts of everything that's been going on in the last couple months with the protests and COVID-19. Leon Rose made it an effort to say that, you know, they don't condone racism of any kind, so on and so forth. He was very conscious to make that be known, because obviously there's been a lot of backlash on Dolan for not being, you know, strong enough in his statements. I can tell you for a fact, though, that internally at MSG, it did cause some division. You know, the employees were not too pleased with Dolan's lack of effort and with Dolan's effort and some of the players too. So what would you take away from that?
I mean, it's common sense. Like people are mad. People are mad at me for pointing out like why he should have said something. It's common sense. Like, I'm a black person who works at my own job, and I know other people who work other places and they haven't said anything at their job, and they're rolling their eyes at their employers and going, "Why am I here? What should I do?" So it's people talking about basketball. I'm talking about humanity. As a human, it's common sense for people to be upset at this point in time when you don't speak up when you're supposedly supposed to speak up. So
true story. True story. Well said. On the restart, he said he pointed to the you know, the fact that he won't be able to evaluate his players further, and we always pointed to that being an obstacle in terms of how he's going to evaluate these guys. You know, the season's cut short. A season is cut short, so he won't be able to evaluate all these players as much as he wants to. But he did say that they may look to sync up with some of the other 8 teams that weren't involved and see if they can get some off-season training and, you know, some scrimmages as well. So stay tuned for that. No draft strategy really in terms of best player available or position. Kind of kept the draft cards close to the vest, but he did say that they were preparing and the scouts have been scouting all year long. So he feels that, you know, with the lottery and the draft coming later on this year, they'll be prepared to make a proper decision.
Yeah, and he kind of echoed the sentiments of a lot of the scouts that we've been speaking to in general, which is saying is like, here's the few top guys here, and then everybody else is just, you know, who knows? Like, that's kind of just been the consensus from what I've been hearing. Like people's opinions have been varying so wildly from like 4 to 10. Like some guys think the 10th is the 4th is the 16th. Like it's all over the place. And I think his comments kind of echoed that sentiment.
Yeah, he said that there's really no parity. He said he said a lot of the talent are close, you know, close in skill set. So he did say that there. Worldwide West was officially brought on to this today, was officially named the executive vice president and strategic advisor. So he pointed to Worldwide West, said they known each other for 40 plus years, so on and so forth. Looks for him to be another mentor. Again, the West hire has been applauded league wide, you know, by players, executives, the like. And so, you know, everybody kind of feels like the Knicks did well there. Everybody feels like the Knicks did well in that regard. So we'll see what Wes will bring to the table. The Julius thing was hilarious. You know, the discussion, he said they have had internal discussions in terms of playing time for the youth. playing right away versus sitting and watching. What is the optimal development philosophy for them? And Breen kind of asked him, how do you kind of see that? Because as an agent, obviously you want your player to always be playing, but now you're on the other side of the table. So I think that discussion was pretty interesting as well.
Yeah, to me it seemed like he was swayed a little bit to the other side of accountability when he turned a little. To me, it seemed like he ended more with that than just playing through mistakes.
Right. Yeah, that's what it seemed like to me as well, and don't really have an issue with that. Pointed to player accountability. Ninja P in Ninja P, he said he's looking for a good partner. He said he's been providing them excellent guidance, as we've been saying. Ninja P using that experience to kind of help Leon shape the front office.
Mm-hmm.
And what else? Coaching, he says he's got to be the right leader to develop the young players. I want somebody to hold these players accountable, somebody that is willing to collaborate with the front office, and somebody that is going to drive the ship when they're in the huddle, that the players know that they can lock in and know that that coach is in command. So
yeah, and he also kind of mentioned like develop and win games simultaneously. So
I
don't know. Is that time? I don't know. Is that time?
I that's what he said, right? That's what he said. Somebody that's going to develop and ultimately help them win games down the road. Sounded like Tibbs, but again, we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. Definitely doesn't seem like somebody with inexperience is where they.
Yeah.
Looks like they want somebody that knows what they're going to be doing, getting into.
Yeah, it seems like. I mean, you can think about that either way, because you say Tom is a guy who's known for developing. I guess you can say that if you go by that era,
right?
But then you have Kenny Atkinson, who is known for development too, and actually saw the process through from development to a 500 team. So you can go that way as well. So you really still don't know.
True.
Like,
yeah, you never know, man. But that was basically it. As I said, you're not expecting anything groundbreaking. You just want to hear from him, hear what he's thinking, and his philosophies and stuff like that. And again, the most concrete information you got was that they're gonna look to name the coach by mid to end of July.
Mm-hmm.
Mid to end of July. So, salute to everybody in the chat. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Call us up. Let us know what you think. 657-383-1509 is the number. Let me salute some super chat sales, because the super chats are coming in before we even started.
Okay.
So salute to the family in here. We got Bronx Legend sends us a super chat. He says, gotta show some love for some real Knicks dudes on here. Much love. So salute to BX, Bronx Legend.
Salute.
Michael Parker, one of the OGs.
Hey, Mike, what's going on, man?
Yeah, man. He says, Knicks are finally learning how to play chess. Good move. Salute to the chat and the mods, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Let's shout out Sean Richardson for the super chat. $5 super chat.
Shout out to you, bro.
Cardi151 sends a $15 super chat. Salute to Cardi151.
Okay, shout out you, Cardi.
And we want to salute the Salsa Kid 2005. $15 super chat as well from the Salsa Kid. So we definitely appreciate that. Did they leave a comment? No comments. No comments, just love, JLs.
Just love. All
just
right.
Love and salsa. That's okay. All. That's it, man. So definitely appreciate everybody once again. Definitely hit that thumbs up button for you boys. I gotta open the line. I don't know what happened here. Hang on one second. JLs, what you think about the World Wide West hire?
I was blown away. I did not see that coming. It just, the timing of it is so strange. I have no idea what to make of it. Like, you have your conspiracy theories. It's like, is it because, it's this weird tension with like the players outside MSG and inside? So it's like to kind of further establish that, for people, and maybe he felt like it was time to step in and help his buddy out because he saw something was the ship was getting stirred in the wrong way.
Yeah, it was interesting because at first we thought that he was brought on, and then they were like, well, probably not, and then it was like, okay, well, maybe he just wants to keep his interests and still be advising on the side, which you figure he would be doing anyway, and now he's in official capacity, so not a bad idea.
Yeah, and it seems like he was already behind the scenes anyway, working with the Knicks. It's just official now, but it's still just it's just weird. The timing is just weird. Or maybe it just took a long time for him to, dissolve his businesses, kind of like what Leon was, what Leon Rose was doing earlier.
True story. All right, first call of the night. Let's go over the border, JL. This is Yusuf from Canada. Wants to talk about the Leon Rose interview. Yusuf, how you feeling, man?
I'm good, man. Shout out, CP, JL. I hope you guys are doing well. Yeah, man. Just a few takeaways was, not too much to really be too hype about. I mean, they made some great hires, and I want to salute them for that. The PR is always going to be the PR, so that's never going to be where we all want it as fans. But we got to just kind of be patient. As far as the takeaways, I didn't really get too much. On one hand, was he being politically correct, like you said, in speaking pretty either neutral or positive about the young players on the roster, and but ultimately, like, could he be maybe trying to figure out some possible destinations for some of these guys and not wanting to maybe talk down their values. So
true,
I respect it. He was moving pretty. He wasn't really showing his cards, so I respect that. He's kind of been doing that pretty much since March or February when he got on with the team. So I'm just looking forward for what he could do. He's fortified the front office. Hopefully, with a lot of the interviews, he'll be able to fortify the coaching staff. And I just don't want to get too ahead of myself. I know some fans like to try to make connections by just we might get Jason Kidd, which means we might get Giannis. So
no,
things like that I never really.
We're not going for that.
We just got to play the slow game and just be like.
We're not going for the Giannis trickery. I'm not talking about that at all.
We're not going to talk about Devin Booker trickery?
We're not talking about that at all, man. When it gets closer, maybe. D-Book, when it gets closer. Giannis, I'm not going for that at all. D-Book is, to me, more believable.
Yeah, that stuff is so far down the line.
Yeah. I'm focused on the draft, man. Man.
Understood.
Exactly. And even with that, I don't think he tipped his cards too much because, he kind of really said that, everyone's really on par, I guess, with the talent they've seen, in the draft, at least with the first round. And we've got 2 picks, a pick in the early second. So, I trust they'll do the due diligence. They've got plenty of time to, evaluate and assess. Obviously, with coronavirus, they won't be able to maybe bring guys in for either a face-to-face or a workout or even spot gems in the combine. So, on one hand, you got the value of having so much time, but you also don't really get that, I guess that intimate exposure with some of these players to really kind of get a feel for who they are.
True.
You won't get, Phil Jackson taking Dennis Smith out and asking, have you eaten squid before? And stuff like that. All that weird stuff that comes with, you know what I mean? All that weird stuff that comes with the draft process and who you might have in place. So, I think we're lucky that we don't have Phil going out to, scout and fall asleep. I think we got some decent people, some great people at least, and we've been applauded for a lot of the hires that we've done. So we just got to wait and see. And, who knows? Either we build, we keep our guys and we develop them, or maybe, we package some of these, extra picks that we have and, swing for the fences and try to get some disgruntled star maybe. But, I'm not really too big on that. We've done that in the past. Hasn't really yielded good results, so we just got to play the slow game and
play the long game, man.
What we can do.
Play the long game. Yusuf, where in Canada are you calling from, bro?
Oh, man, I'm calling from Alberta, Edmonton, Alberta.
Edmonton,
so,
okay.
Mountain Standard Time. We're just north of Montana.
Yeah.
The prairies, but
no doubt.
You know what it is. It's Canada. We still follow basketball out here, so.
All day, man. Hold it down for us, man. Good, thanks for the call, man. All right, next up, let's go to Maryland. Zay's up. Zay, how you feeling, bro?
Good, man. How you guys feeling?
Good, bro. What's going on?
Good. I was just gonna give my opinion on like the way Leon Rose sounded in the interview. Sounds like he's leaning towards Tibbs. Like I think Tibbs is like everything he pretty much spoke on for the most part. With like the accountability part and people. I guess just like kind of balancing, still wanting to win and trying to get like a certain environment with the players. I think that's more Tibbs what he's talking about. And then I wanted to mention the Randall thing because the people were like, "Oh no, not he's talking about keeping Randall." I feel like Randall just needs a coach that's gonna hold him accountable. And I don't think we had that last year. For people to expect him to like defer to RJ in his rookie year, that's like just not even reasonable.
He wasn't that wasn't
realistic. His rookie year was under Kobe.
Yeah, it's true.
So Kobe wasn't giving him the ball, so he came here.
He learned from the best. He learned from the
Boom.
best.
There
Mamba
it is.
mentality, man.
There it is.
Mamba mentality, bro. I mean, listen, I appreciate the calls, Zay. As I've said, JLs, listen, I know Julius has his faults. The spin moves, the turnovers. I don't think they're gonna trade him because again, I don't see the market being there for him, and I don't think they're gonna give him away. So let's see what year 2 has in store for Julius, man.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm never going to say never. I don't know if that's my being hopeful.
Yeah.
He averaged 2010, even though they were like empty stats. But sometimes stats fool people.
You hope Leon pulls a Messiah on somebody on the Hawks? Maybe the Hawks will be a willing participant.
Yeah, man. Like Julius isn't completely hopeless.
Yeah, no, he's not. He's not at all. He's not at all, man. So
he's not a guy. He's not the guy. You know what I mean?
Right. Salute to everybody in the chat. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. We got almost 600 people watching right now, JL. So salute to everybody watching. Number one show for the fans, by the fans. If you're new in the chat, leave us a hashtag new so we can shout you guys out. Also, remember that all of these shows, the interviews, the quick streams, the podcast are all available in podcast format. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, Amazon, Alexa as well. So if you can't watch on video, you can't watch live, it's always available in audio podcast format. CK2K in the chat, JL. Salute to CK2K.
All right. Salute.
And we got Coast. Go ahead.
Got a super chat as well. So shout out to Wilkie B. King says shout out to you, man, for these killer interviews. Some NBA channels that have died. You guys are thriving. Keep it up.
Appreciate it, Will. That's Will from LI. Yeah, Will from LI.
Oh, it's Will from LI. He changed the. He changed the. I missed it.
I don't know.
He went from Puffy to Diddy. What happened?
I don't know, man. Shout out Cedric Lucas J. Ellis. He's team #new. So shout out to Cedric in here.
Shout out to you, man.
Yeah, man. Who else we got in here? Ed Santana is definitely not new. Shout out Battleside 48. Team #new. So
okay, Battleside.
Yeah, man.
Shout out to
go ahead, bro.
Oh yeah, shout out to Jet for Life, Craig Williams, Raw Hebrew, Remnant. I don't think I've seen you before.
He's been around. He's an OG. He's been around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that happened.
Yeah.
Salvador, shout out to you, Salvador, Irizarry, and Ron Cohen. And of course, John Talento. He's trying.
John Talento's always first, man. That's my guy, man. All right, let's go to the Queensboro. Dale is in here. Dale, how you feeling? Dale going.
Hello?
Yo, Dale, what's up, bro?
Oh, you guys can hear me?
Loud and clear. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry then. I couldn't get you at first. First of all, how you guys are doing today?
Good, man. Hope you're doing all right.
All right, thank you. Number two, I'm hearing you guys talk about, what's going on with Rose and whatnot. Let me tell you, this guy is putting together a commission. I mean, this is like a dream team he's putting together. Everybody's in their own slot. There's not going to be any competition amongst the guys he got. And the gentleman that he picked up today, what do you call him,
Worldwide West.
That guy had been around for years. They're going to go after certain people that everybody's not even looking at. They're going to go after them. They know what they're doing. They have an understanding what's going on. And as far as the coaches go, everybody's talking about Tibbs, and everybody also is speaking about what's his name, Atkinson. The one who used to coach the Nets.
Kenny Atkinson.
Excuse me?
Kenny Atkinson.
Yeah, right. Those two guys, they already know no matter what, they have them. What I think what they're going to do is two other people that's out there that I think with this kind of crew they have, they're going to go after. One, the guy over in Kentucky, Calipari. They know this is the last time Calipari can coach. Well, to come to the NBA anyway. It could be between the Knicks or Philly. One of them want to go after him. And he might decide to go with all this, stuff going on out here, with the sickness and all, or the corona I'm talking about. He might decide to leave college. Who can work better with the young guys than Calipari, and who also have people either in the NBA or currently at their school, or potentially people who wanted to go to their school, than Calipari.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be like the number one choice. Their second choice, I believe, is going to be Kidd. So Kid got a lot of juice, man. A lot of people don't understand it. He got a lot of juice. They may want to go after Kid for several reasons. Everybody know about Giannis, so I think Giannis may stay in Milwaukee. But, with Giannis, and also the one person they're looking at that they might be able to steal, believe it or not, is the kid Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is not sold on L.A. to stay there guaranteed. So who knows? He probably will stay there, but if you get Kid, you open up the slots. And then, worst case scenario, you can get Tibbs.
Okay.
Or Atkinson. It don't matter. These guys are going to go after players. They're going to go after coaches. They're going after everything. This is a solid crew. I don't know if anybody realizes. This is a
Definitely.
solid crew. Similar, if not better, than the one they got at the Lakers.
All right. Appreciate the call, Dale. Appreciate the call, man. I do agree with him, JL. I mean, on paper, like I said, like I've been saying, on paper, the team looks good.
Yes, on paper.
On paper. You have Wes. You have Walt Perrin, your scout of almost 20 years. You have Ninja P. Now you have your upstart scout, Alex Klein.
Checking boxes.
All these guys are relationship builders first and foremost.
Then you got the cap guy who's supposed to be the cap genius.
Then you got the cap guru. He's carrying around a calculator all day long. He's just crunching numbers all day.
Pencil in the ear.
Diabolical. You know what I mean? Brock Aller. So we'll see. Let's see. I think somebody had asked me what this means, Worldwide West and all these. I think it's going to be an aggressive rebuild, JLs. It's going to be an aggressive rebuild.
It seems like it can go either way, man, because it seems like they got a whole bunch of scouts who are just really good at scouting, but then like Leon and Worldwide West kind of suggest that we can go after the big guys if we wanted to. I feel like I feel like they're just trying to cover every base.
Got to. If you're gonna court your free agents, Wes, like you said, Wes is your guy. Leon is your guy. You know what I mean? You have your draft guys that you're gonna have to develop these guys, and then again, maybe you use your draft capital and you package that up for a player in a when the time is right that could potentially turn your franchise around. That's what the game is.
Yes, usually
that's what the game is.
Building assets and flipping them.
Building assets and flipping them. So I don't know about Calipari. I haven't, I don't know about that. I haven't heard anything. A lot of the Kentucky bloggers and stuff, they don't think so.
Yeah,
they're pretty in touch with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you hear that? That's not going to happen. You keep hearing shutting that down. So when he said that, I was like, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't see the Calipari stuff. Kid, who knows? Who can't say no.
Can't say no either.
Yeah,
development guy. Wins. He did decently with the wins, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's TBD. On AD, I told you guys from last summer that AD did want to be a Knick. He did want to be a Knick. Knicks obviously didn't have the trade package, and he didn't really have a choice. So Lakers came in, they got him. Now he can re-sign with the Lakers, or he can, choose to become a free agent. We'll see what happens. I think he'll stay with LeBron as his best chance to win a ring. But who knows? Maybe if they win it in this, Disney World flop restart that they're doing, if he, maybe he changed his mind. But I don't see Giannis or AD really happening. Let's just focus on building the team.
Yeah, let's do that. I'd be surprised if you're gonna try to pull a Kawhi or something. I don't know.
No, I don't see it. I don't see it. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for your boys. Let's shout out Wayne Dorsey, JLs. He's #new.
All right, shout out to you.
Salute to Wayne. Welcome to the channel. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you share it. Hope you guys were able to catch that Kenyon Martin interview, JLs. Another one. Another solid interview. We're gonna make the announcement on the next interview coming up, which is gonna be major on various fronts. If you know what I'm saying.
Y'all gonna want to watch this one.
Yeah, exclusive. If you know what I'm saying, JLs. And you definitely know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah. There's another thing I was gonna say. Oh, Dale had mentioned the team, and he mentioned Brock Aller, Walt Perrin, and all that. I made a playlist for anybody that's new that hasn't seen some of our past shows where we touched on all these guys to give you the lowdown on all these guys from the people in the know. There's a playlist. If you click on your top right-hand corner, there's an eye icon. There's a playlist that's called Leon Rose Front Office Playlist. It's all the videos that we touched on, all the hires from Leon Rose, Worldwide West, Brock Aller, Walt Perrin, Scott Perry coming back. Everything that you want to know about the front office and these guys, there's a playlist there for you. So make sure you check that out. All right, JL, a couple more calls. Let's go to Nick from Rockland County. Nick, you up next. How you doing?
Yep. Unmuted.
Yeah, you good. Go ahead, bro.
Yo, what up, guys?
Good, man. Just turn down the volume on your end as well. Doing well.
You guys hear me?
Yeah, just turn down the volume and go straight to your point. We can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Sir.
What's up, guys? I don't hear you.
Yeah, you got to turn down your volume. We're gonna come back to Nick, man. Serge, we got the return of Sergio in the building. Serge, what's going on?
You in the building, son.
How's everything?
Yo, what's good, fellas?
Good, man. What's going on?
Yeah, I can't really hear y'all too good, but
it might be. You know what? It might be an issue. It might be an issue with the switchboard. So just go ahead with your point.
To me, it really doesn't matter. You could change the coach, you could change the GM, the president. None of that really matters because there's a difference between being impatient due to 20 years of sucking and being impatient through a 5-year rebuild. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And while I'm probably going to get dragged for this, the fact is the Knicks suck and will always suck until the fan base can survive the rebuild. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
James Dolan is susceptible to negative press and influence. He's always going to acquiesce to the feedback, which is why every time our team is on the roller coaster, we in flux. We get the team that needs to grow, needs continuity, but the results don't come fast enough. The fan base groans. The media shits a brick in front of Madison Square Garden, and Dolan fires somebody,
absolutely
rinse, repeat.
He's absolutely
If Hanky would have been doing that, he would have been hanging from the Empire State Building after 5 lost seasons, but yet they have 2 all-star caliber pieces, and they're a top seed in the East. You know what I'm saying? We just refuse to sit through it without bashing the team, bashing the players. Rich Kleiman said it right, bro. We like that thirsty dude at the club that meets a pretty girl but shits on her because we like the ones in VIP who won't give us the time of day. You know what I'm saying? Buying hats and tickets, you're not supporting the team when we turn around and crap all over the players. You know what I'm saying? I hope Rose is different. It's time the front office says to hell with the fans, to hell with the media, and just stick to their plan. You know what I'm saying? We need to stop being thirsty, stop looking at that good-looking shorty's flaws, and chill with her for a minute, because you know what? She might turn into the VIP one day.
Yeah, he's absolutely
right. You know what I'm saying? Knicks fans don't understand this, and you know what I'm saying? We always crapping on the team, and you think that the front office don't hear that? We always crying. Julius this one, that. Frankie sucks. RJ's developing too slow. Yeah. Knox is trash. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Dolan's taking all of this in and going, well, what am I going to do? All right, well, fire the next cat. You know what I'm saying? And then they bring in another cat, and here we go. Round and round we go. Round and round we go. You know what I'm saying?
The return of Sergio, Jay Ellis, and drops the mic. He's 100% right. I agree with Sergio 1,000%.
Yeah.
1,000%, man.
Yep.
Listen, we've been saying it. I've said this 1,000 times. Dolan reacts to negative energy. He reacts to the negativity. He pulls the plug. Sometimes rightfully so. Phil's situation, I thought, he was right for that. Phil wasn't right for the job. But Dolan reacts to the negative news, and he panics.
Yeah, it's true. It's definitely true.
Sergio's right, man. We got to have patience, man. We got to be ready to go through it, go through the lumps,
Exactly. I think he was right with his deal, too, though. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, probably. You know, somebody in the chat said rebuilds are ugly. 100%. 100%. Nick from Rockland, call back. There's an issue with the switchboard. People aren't really able to hear us. So when we go to you, as soon as you hear unmute, just go right ahead with your point. Make your point and hang up. Everybody can hear you. You might not be able to hear us too well. There's an issue with the switchboard, but we still want to hear from the callers. And this one's perfect timing, JLS, because right after Sergio, it's Ari from Manhattan calling in.
You ain't planned it.
This wasn't planned. This was not planned. Ari, go ahead, man.
What's up, guys?
How you feeling?
Guys? How you guys doing?
Good. What's good?
Right.
Can you hear us okay? How's
yeah,
Ari?
I'm hanging in there. I can hear you very little, but
okay.
I can hear myself pretty well. So
all right, good.
I'll just get into it. I mean, here's my take. All right, so like, it's not. I don't like it when people blaming Knicks fans for being impatient, because we've been patient for 20 years and nothing has happened. And to blame Knicks fans is essentially to release the front office and ownership of any duty to doing what's good for the organization, and basically placing the blame on Knicks fans. You know, it's the front office's responsibility and to basically drown out the Knicks fans and not listen to us and do what's in the best, what's best for the team, not what's best for the fans. It's their responsibility to do that. All these guys know when they come to New York that there's a lot of media and there's a lot of pressure. It's their responsibility not to fold to that pressure, whether that's James Dolan or whether that's Scott Perry or Steve Mills. You know, it's their responsibility. A good leader, a good front office guy is not going to let the mob get to him and cloud his judgment. They got to do what's best for the organization. And regardless of what you say, Fizdale was terrible. Phil Jackson was terrible. The KP trade was terrible. There's no reason for Knicks fans telling Knicks fans to just be patient and just don't worry, go through a proper rebuild. The rebuild was supposed to start 2 years ago, right? That's when the rebuild was supposed to start. Not right now. Now it's starting now. And then if something bad happens again and we get upset, and rightfully so, it's going to be the Knicks fans' fault. And I don't like that. So, you know, personally, we've been waiting for 20 years, and I understand you have to be patient with the rebuild. But when you blame Knicks fans, you basically relinquish the front office of any liability whatsoever, when it's literally their fault that this started to begin with. We wouldn't be in the position we were in if it wasn't for Scott Perry trading away Kristaps for Dennis Smith Jr. Right? So, you know, I just find it a little off-putting to blame Knicks fans because we want a contending team, and we're not happy that we don't have a contending team. You know, when the front office and James Dolan has been, you know, screwing with us for the past God knows how many years. So that's the first thing I want to say.
Right.
So that's number one. Number two, you know, I do like the William Wesley hire. I think it's a great hire. It's what I kind of said before. Like, we need to assemble a team of people, right? We got Steve Stout, we got William Wesley, we got all these guys with swag and connections. Leon Rose, they got all the connections. They can play behind the scenes. You got, you know, Brock Aller, the nerd, who's really good with the cap, right? You got Walt Perrin, who's really good at scouting. He put together an A-list team of people that are going to do different things, right? So I do like the hire, and I do think, you know, the combination of it will help the team. You know, the only thing I'm really concerned about, and my last point is, you know, the coach, right? And like this Jason Kidd talk, like, I don't like this Jason Kidd talk. It's just a Giannis ploy. You know, if you want to bring him as an assistant coach, whatever. Personally, I was on the Tibbs train. I'm now off the Tibbs train. I think that if you have William Wesley and you have these guys around right now, I don't think Tibbs is going to fit into that culture. I could see them I could just see Tibbs and like just being like, I could just see there being two separate factions within the organization if you bring in an old school guy like Tibbs. So I'm personally okay with any of the following. Kenny Atkinson, I'm okay with. Jeff Van Gundy would be my preferential choice, but it's probably not going to happen. And Mike Woodson. I really do like Mike Woodson. Those are the three guys I would look at, and I would narrow it down to Atkinson and Mike Woodson. And the reason why I know Mike Woodson is the best choice, is a good choice, is because he was the only guy to actually have success on this team. And on the earlier show that you did today, CP, where you did his interview. Everything he said was spot on. So I'm with that. And the other reason why I know Mike Woodson is good for the job is because CP the artist said he's not. So that means he has to be good for the job.
I appreciate the call. Art. Appreciate the call, man. We needed a battle of the fans tonight, JLs, man. My fault to everybody. The switchboards are acting up. So callers aren't really able to hear. I don't think they would have been able to hear each other. But, you heard two diverging thoughts. One from Sergio, one from Ari. What do you think about Ari's talk? With the fans should not be the blame, that deflecting attention from the front office.
I kind of agree with Ari, man. I agree. I agree with both of them.
I agree with both.
I actually agree with both of them. They both have a good point, but it's like you can't really blame the fans. The fans aren't in charge.
Correct.
It's correct. The front office, if you are a leader, it's your job to sift through the bull, chill out, and make the correct decisions based on based on basketball, based on patience. But that's what happens when you have a guy who owns a team who's not a basketball guy. Like he just kind of just go by the flow of the fans because you just don't really know.
Bro, that's what happens when you're in New York, man. It's simple and plain. This isn't Atlanta. This isn't Denver. This isn't even Brooklyn, J. Ellis. That's why them dudes flocked over there, because they can fly under the radar, because they're not expected to win anything. You know what I mean? This is the heaviest jersey in the league. It is what it is. I hear what Ari's saying. The fans aren't to blame, but it's a chain reaction. The fans have been waiting since 1999, J. Ellis, to put something competent on the floor that we can be proud of. That's 20 years. Okay? These are the same fans that are buying merch. They're buying tickets. They're buying season tickets year over year. They want a winner on the floor. So when the fans are tight, when they're booing on the court, when they're saying fire Fizz, fire Hornacek, fire Fisher, fire Rambis, fire not Herb. Herb's our guy. We like Herb. Fire Larry Brown, all these guys, right? Then the media picks up on that. Then the league picks up on that, and then the owner panics.
Definitely panics. You don't count the 54-win team? You don't count that?
That was cool.
All right,
cool. Of course. Knick's tape, of course. Woodson was my guy. All those guys. Mel, my favorite player. Everything. Knick's tape was great, but it was just a perfect storm. Knick's tape. It wasn't a sustainable team.
I feel you. That makes sense. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was a one and done team, but they did all they could. They flopped out at the end, but it is what it is. I was still proud of that team. All
right.
So I see both sides of it.
I do see both sides as well.
I see both sides of it. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Damn, we need that battle of the fans. But where we at, 4 now? Sergio made his return. It was epic. Ari's points were epic.
Yeah, CP, you planned this.
It wasn't planned. I swear, they were on the switchboard, one under each other. They called at the same time.
Right.
It's the energy, man. It's the energy. It's Magneto versus Professor X, JLs.
If you don't believe CP, press 5.
No, I promise. Dave is man in the switchboard, I promise. I go in order of when they come in. Man. Nothing more, nothing less. Let's go to Nick from Rockland again, because Nick, we have messed up Nick's connection. Nick, just go ahead with your point.
Hey, what's up, guys? Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. Just go ahead.
How you guys doing? So I just heard a lot of valid points. Longtime Knicks fan. What bothers me is I kind of like management right now. I feel like we're going in the right direction. But with these coaches, so many coaches, I don't want another coach who's going to come in and then he's fired in not even another year. We seem to go through coaches. We give them all this money, and it's like, oh, he's gone. Like, whoever they hire. I wanted Mark Jackson. It seems to be not the guy, and I really like Atkins. I would like to have the guy who has the rival team's dirt, These things worry me. I'd be okay with Atkins or Tibbs, but I don't want these guys to get fired in 1 or 2 years. We can't keep going through coaches. It's very inconsistent with this team. The East is completely terrible. We should be in the playoffs next year moving forward. And I don't know if you agree with me, do you think RJ will be an all-star within the next 2 years?
I don't know about all-star. I think RJ's going to be a good player.
You guys think Julius Randle's the best player on the team?
Yes.
I think I think RJ has a shot. I'm not going to say he's definitely going to be the All-Star. I feel like he has a shot. I feel like he might be a lot, he's a smarter player than people might give him credit for. And I just think he definitely needs more opportunities to see where he can go. But he has a shot for sure.
I feel like RJ's the second best player on the team, even though, he's a rook. And here's another thing with the draft. We have been terrible with the draft for how many years? So we got rid of KP, who is leaps and bounds better than Dennis Smith Jr. Don't you think they should put some pressure on Dennis Smith Jr. now? Like, look, we got you for KP, he's probably going to be packaged with Zoe or somebody,
I mean, to be honest, nigga, I don't even know if he can handle it, man. I still don't think he'll be here, especially if they go get a point guard in the draft. I don't see DSJ being here, but Rose is likes what he sees. At least that's what he says early.
Yeah, man. I feel like that was a political move, to be honest with you. It seemed like DSJ to me checked out. He checked out half of last season. He went through a lot.
He went through a lot. He went through a lot. No doubt about it.
But yeah, I just feel like I just got the feeling he didn't want to be here.
No, I didn't. He didn't. He did not want to be here. So, and can RJ be an All-Star in 2 years, Yales? I mean, that's going to take a big leap this year. Next season.
Mm-hmm.
That has to start next season.
He just needs the opportunities. Like, we saw signs of growth. We saw the 3-point shot starting to grow. We saw his percentages start to rise towards the end of the season before it ended. It's unfortunate the season ended so quickly. So maybe it could have gone up more. We could have built off that momentum.
Didn't get a chance to see it. Didn't get a chance to see it. But I say that to say I'm happy with RJ being here, man. I'm gonna, again, we need patience. He's gonna be looking at his second coach in as many years. Once again, let's have patience, man. Let's get some coaches in there that can develop these players. So I'm looking. The comment on the switchboard here is that CP the artist wants to respond to Ari. So I'm sensing some smoke going on in here. So we got CP the artist in the building.
Spin that. Here we go.
He's ready to get out the cage. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Hey yo. It's great to hear from you guys for a long, long time. I'm glad that you guys are doing well. Under the circumstances, with the virus and everything like that. So it's good to see that you guys are healthy and everything.
Yeah, give thanks.
Well, I want to address the virus in the chat, which is Ari. All right, so Ari says that his guy is Woodson. Now, what Ari doesn't ever do is bring up stats. Mike Woodson, when I moved down here from Jersey to Atlanta, Mike Woodson spent 7 years with Atlanta. Do you guys know how many winning seasons he had in Atlanta? 2. He only had 2 winning seasons. So let's fast forward when he was with the Knicks. He had a great year with the Knicks, for a year and a half. But who did he take over for? Mike D'Antoni. So Woodson really doesn't have a track record of even being a really good coach. He was he was coaching very decent teams when he was here in Atlanta. This was the knock on him: development of the young players. He had 2 first-round picks with Josh Smith and Marvin Williams that he could never develop. And another thing, he was a terrible offensive coach because what was his pedigree? ISO.
Yeah, he went ISO Joe. He went ISO
Joe Johnson
heavy.
Got his ISO Joe label from.
Yeah.
Because anytime they were in trouble, they had to ISO. I can't really hear y'all guys, but that's all I got to say.
All right.
Peace.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. He did develop that ISO Joe moniker, J. Ellis.
Yeah.
Listen, no coach has been able to develop Marvin Williams, so let's throw that in the Let's just be real. And Josh Smith is not even in the league anymore, J. Ellis. He ain't that old. All right, so that should go to show you how great those draft picks were. Joe Johnson is who he is. He's not a superstar. Listen, those Atlanta teams, they competed. They had some depth. Maybe they didn't go as far as CP the artist thought they should have. Maybe they underachieved in his book. I still thought those teams played fairly well. The Knicks tape team won 54 games.
Right.
what Kenyon pointed to and what Woodson pointed to in his Q&A with Begley was that the team shot a lot of threes on Knicks tape. They led the league in threes, attempted, made, and 3-point percentage.
True.
You know, so he feels like he can coach today's game.
Yeah, that's the way they got the threes, pick and roll and inside out, pretty much.
Pretty much.
And then when things got tight, I think what he's really talking about what is the ISO ball. When things got really tight, I think it got a little bit predictable. But we ended up having one of the best one-on-one players in the league. So it worked out a few times.
And when the game breaks down, that's what it becomes, Jay Ellis. Let's be real. When you get into the playoffs, when you get into close games and the game plans are out the window, each team knows what each team is going to do. What does it come down to? Your superstar players getting buckets.
Absolutely. Of course, yes, of course. I guess it depends on how creative are you in getting your superstar player the ball in
Sure.
The question.
Sure.
Just don't be predictable with it. You're not gonna keep posting on the right elbow with no side action. You know what I mean? Like
I hear that. But check out that Woodson interview. I don't know if you saw it on Ian Begley, SNY's page. Ian Begley had interviewed Woodson in a Q&A. It was pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, let's hear from a couple more callers. Remember, just go ahead and make your point. Just hear from Danny from New Jersey. What's going on, man?
Hello?
Yep, loud and clear, bro. Go ahead, bro.
Oh, all right. First time caller, man. Long time listener. I love what you guys doing. Just keep doing your thing. I just wanted to talk about the coaching search. I'm not on the Thibodeau bandwagon, man. Like, it's not a myth that he plays his players too many minutes. Like, that's not a myth at all. If you look at the numbers, if you look at the type of injuries that Rose had, that Jimmy Butler had, even when he had Jimmy Butler in Minnesota, all these injuries were non-contact injuries. You know that he's just playing his players way too much, and these injuries are caused by fatigue. And the last thing that we need is to be rebuilding, especially with Mitch and RJ that are right now our cornerstones, and them to be dealing with knee injuries or they blow out their hand knee, like that's. And then we got to start all over again. So I don't know, man. I'm not on the Thibodeau bandwagon at all. I'd rather get a coach, a younger coach. I love Woodson, but I'd rather get a younger coach that's actually going to build with the team and actually, have something to say to these guys and get to know these guys and just builds with the team instead of trying to win now and get Tibbs on the boat and. God forbid, one of our young stars. I mean, they're not stars yet, but with the potential that they have, I just don't want to see them go down that road and risk injury like that with him, man. I just don't want to start all over. We've already done this for this many years. I don't want to start all over. You know what I mean? With Tibbs, I just don't see it, man. I want to know what y'all think about it.
Right. I mean, listen, you're starting over basically anyway, JLs, whichever coach, you're going to be starting over.
Unless, no.
What?
Unless you pick Mike Miller.
Oh, well, I guess. Well, I guess if you want to count the 60 games that he had, sure. But, on the Tibbs thing, listen, the minutes thing, yes, it is legit. But again, I would have to say if he comes in here and is still repeating the same mistakes, I would have to think that, again, for like Leon Rose said, they need somebody that's going to be collaborating with the front office. You have to work with him to manage those minutes. Budenholzer has the same issue in Milwaukee, right? His coaching staff has to remind him, take Giannis out. He's getting a little too long in the minutes. So certain coaches are hard-headed like that, but it has to be a collaborative effort. And for him to come in here, he has to know this is his last shot, JLs.
Yeah, true.
Especially if he comes here and flames out early. That could be it for him.
Yeah, this could be your catapult or your deathbed.
That's it. That is it.
That is definitely it.
So, he's got to be able to adjust to that.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's been saying all the right things in these interviews. he's talked about, observing other coaches' practices and figuring out, how to practice the young guys versus how to practice the veterans, so you don't, get injured later on. So he's been saying all the right things, but it remains to be seen if he can pull it off.
Yeah, we'll see. Time will tell, man. But valid concerns by Danny. Salute to Danny for checking in. Salute to everybody in the chat. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. We've crept up over 600, Jay Ellis.
Okay.
Knicks Fan TV, Knick of Time Show. Salute to everybody watching on Facebook. Don't want to forget our Facebook peoples, man. Always good peoples. I want to shout out Shaquille Madison. They are team #new.
All right.
So Shaquille Madison. Everybody throw your cities in the chat as well, man. Let us know where you guys are checking in from. JL, so you want to shout out on your side of town?
My guy Fritz, always holding down. Fritz Alisantor. Shout out to you. My guy Will from LI. I will not acknowledge your new name. You are Will from LI.
Yeah, Will from LI, man. That's it. That is it.
And also, yeah, and Bossy 302. Shout out to you as well. And Gregory Castillo holding down my chat. Shout out to you.
Sounds good, man. Let me salute the super chats that came in. Rory Campbell sends us a super chat. He wants JVG. Throw the bag at Jeff Van Gundy. He wants a reunion with Jeff. Okay. Mr. William 1072 said, Kid can't sabotage this team because upper management is too strong. My dark horse is Woodson. Interesting. He doesn't think Kid can make a power play here with Worldwide West and Rose. I think he's right.
I think so too.
I think he's right. Shout out Clowner Joshua checking in from Luxembourg jails. We going global out here.
All right.
Luxembourg. We got Smoking Blue checking in from South Germany. The Rottweiler boys.
Okay. Oh, we got Mo from the Bronx, of course.
Okay. Salute Mo.
And we got Baki from Massapequa Park. Shout out to you.
Nice. LI stand up. We got Special K checking in from the U.S. Virgin Islands, St. Thomas.
Oh.
Just dropped a little island flex on us. You know what I mean?
How's the corona over there? It's probably light. No one's
probably light, man. I've been dying to get to the beach all summer, man.
Same. Shout out to Elwood Johnson from Massachusetts. Shout out to you.
Shout out Elwood. I'm gonna shout out Lockie Whitaker checking from Victoria, Australia. You know what I mean?
Hey. All right.
You gotta say it with that little twang at the end with Australia. You know what I'm saying?
I never tried the Australia.
Yeah, it's different than the British accent.
Say it again. I'm gonna try it.
Australia.
Yeah,
you got to throw that Y in the end. You know what I mean?
Australia.
Yeah, that's it. Just like that.
That's what's up.
Just like that. Man. Absolutely, man. Good job, bro. Good job. All right, let's a couple more calls before we get out of here. Let's hear from Will from LI. Our guys on the line. Will, what's going on? Go ahead with your points.
Hey, what's going on, CP? How you guys doing? I definitely do hear about that whole phone situation, so I'm just gonna get right into my points.
Yeah, go ahead.
First off, loving what you guys are doing with the interviews, man. Kenny and Martin, lovely. And then with the OGs coming back with Ron Cleveland, you got Ari and Serge going back at it. This is classic Knicks fan
classic,
TV.
Man. We turn back the clock tonight, man. We turn back the clock tonight.
Sure did.
Yes, I mean, I definitely just a quick talk about the Ari and Serge situation. I definitely feel it from both sides. I do feel like we need to be able to man a rebuild and commit to it. But at the same time, as a Knicks fan, and I got my cousin being a Lakers fan, just constantly talking crap about us. I got a text message about how we're taking the Lakers sloppy seconds because first it was Derek Fisher, then it was Phil Jackson, now it's Jason Kidd. I'm just like, oh man. So yeah, I don't like to be blamed as a Knicks fan because it's been hard out here, as you guys probably know because y'all been in it longer than me. Mm-hmm. But I'll leave it at that. But both good points. I just wanted to talk about the coaching situation but with the addition of Worldwide West in this whole interview. I think that these type of interviews, you definitely got to look at them like chess. Every comment has an underlying comment. So yes, talking about DSJ, I don't think Leon Rose has high hopes for DSJ, but at the same time, you don't want to undercut your trade value in these young players. So I understand that.
Smart.
But when it comes to the addition of Worldwide West, and Ari hit it right on the head, and I mean, I'm kind of mad that he got to it. I think that adding another personality like him and as strong as he is, I just don't know if Tibbs you're just adding too much to the fire. The same thing that Kenyon Martin said about AI and Carmelo versus Chauncey.
Too many
Like
personalities.
I feel like
too many strong
Chauncey
personalities.
is the equivalent of Kenny Atkinson, and then Tibbs is the equivalent of Allen Iverson. So for me, I just definitely would just be more safe, go with the guy Kenny Atkinson. But I will say this, I'll just leave on this point. I would love to see what RJ would become underneath Tom Thibodeau's coaching. Like Tom Thibodeau's coaching isn't for most, but I think it's made for RJ. And I'll just leave you guys on that.
Okay.
Keep up the great
good
work.
points. Good call, Will. Good call, man. Could be too many alpha dogs in the building, J. Ellis. I always thought about that, which is why I still make a case for Miller.
Yeah. I feel like Miller. Man, listen, I said it before. I say it again. Miller already has kind of a plan for every player here. He's already started down that road. Giving him a full summer, a full training camp. I think it will be good. And players already know what they have to work on because he's the same coach from last year.
A guy that can just maintain the X's and O's. He's just about that ball.
Right. And let's not forget too. He was coach of the year in the G League. He had OD accolades when he was in the G League.
Yeah. Yeah. I would the RJ Tibbs combination definitely intrigues me as well. I agree with Will on that. And he thinks Atkinson may have a easier time, maintaining and cultivating a relationship with the front office. But the verdict is still out on Brooklyn. What happened with Atkinson and Marks? That relationship. I don't think we have all the answers on that.
You think there's something missing?
I think there's something missing. I mean, it is what it is, but I'm not so sure.
So you think it's more than to me, this is Marks was scared of pissing off
KD.
The grand prize they won. Yeah, because they gave up the kitchen sink for KD and Kyrie. So at that point, you pretty much chose who you're going with. It'd be hard to go against a guy who you paid for that heavily.
Fair point.
So I think that's, to me, that was we can't afford to blow this up because they pretty much run the team. So sorry, we like you, but
points.
That much.
Fair points, man. I want to salute M Cap Westbury LI in the building. What's going on? Rodel Santos in the chat says Neptune City says, how do you feel about Becky Hammond? I think we had touched on Becky. That was Ron Cleveland's pick the other night, actually. Becky Hammond. But if we go to Leon's points from tonight's interview, it says the right leader to develop and win games. He's going to hold the players accountable, collaborative with the front office, and be able to command the ship.
Right.
Not saying she can't. I just think you're going to look towards someone with more experience in that regard.
Yeah, I feel the same way. You're going to look for, they're interviewing a whole lot of assistant coaches, but from what he said, it makes it hard to believe that any of them are really in the running for a head coach.
It seems like you need somebody with experience.
Yeah.
And I agree. I've been saying that. The Becky thing is not about her being a woman. It's about having somebody that can handle this. It's a different situation. You heard what Serge said. It's a completely different situation than any other job in the league. So we'll see what happens. But what Leon Rose did say is that mid to late July they'll be expecting a decision, and we'll be right here hearing from the fans. Let's go to the closer for tonight. We're gonna wrap up with Delano, the mayor, checking in. Delano, what's going on?
What up, Del?
Hey, what's going on? Salute to everybody in the chat, man. Salute to you and Jay Ellis, man, always holding it down and repping for the Knicks. Great interviews. I never got a chance to say that during the chats or anything like that, but great interviews with Felton and Kenyon Martin. You guys continue to do great jobs with that.
Thank you, bro.
When it comes down to the whole Leon Rose interview, I appreciate the fact that he came out of hiding finally. Felt like you got the job in March, and we're just now finally hearing from you at the beginning of summer. Okay, that's great. End of the day, really all we want to do is just see direction, some vision. The hires are great. The hires make a lot of sense, especially for a novice. We gotta get him some veterans in the front office, and he did a great job of obtaining them. So, kudos to him for that. The head coach, for me personally, I just feel like I don't want none of these assistants. I don't even know why they're on the board, because I feel like because of the fact that Leon Rose is a novice, I want a veteran coach. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to take a gamble on no new guy that I've never heard of or came from a losing organization. I'm not on that way. So I would like personally for him to get a veteran coach. Now, personally, I like Atkinson, especially for what we need, which is development. Mm-hmm. Tibbs, again, he has that reputation where he overworks his players. So, it's hard to just sit there and say, yeah, give me Tibbs. But at the same time, he's a veteran that has led his teams to playoffs and playoff contention. Mm-hmm. And, made a championship caliber run when he was with the Bulls. So I can't just completely write him off. But I, at the end of the day, just want a veteran coach. I want a veteran voice that can command that locker room. I'm hoping that the moves he make eventually leads to, again, getting, players that to play both ends of the floor. That's one of my biggest problems with even the front court. Julius Randle, Bobby Portis, they're not known for it, but again, sometimes it's all about effort too, and sometimes they just don't show it.
Yep.
Dennis Smith Jr., he's a special talent. But where? In practice? In the open run? Because when I seen him on the floor, I wasn't really impressed. But hopefully, he'll turn it around. If he's going to be here for another season, hopefully, he'll do what he got to do and, help us win some games. End of the day, I think this team belongs to RJ and Mitch. I think those are the centerpieces right now until, they can show otherwise. So I think, again, we have to start doing a little bit more catering to, our strengths and not bringing in guys that are here for a season so that way they can pad their pockets, playing and auditioning for other teams.
Got it. Appreciate the call, Del.
End of the day,
appreciate the call. Listen, he's not wrong. I definitely agree with him on the experience factor. I'm definitely in that regard as well. Again, I don't think interviewing these assistants is a waste of time. Like I said, these could be part of your staff. These could be guys, let's say a Will Hardy becomes a top flight coach in 5 years. You come back and say, hey, I met with Leon Rose 5 years ago. We develop a rapport. I'm coming to you know what I'm saying? Like, you just never know. So I think it's good for Leon to do his homework, like he said, get educated on these styles and philosophies as he's new to the job, and maybe he still picks the more well seasoned coach in the Tibbs or Atkinson. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Absolutely. So far, so good. Looks like we have a great front office, but none of that matters if you pick a bad coach.
None of that matters if you pick a bad coach or bad players. Remember, the players still got to play, Jay Ellis. So
exactly.
But yeah, man. But good show. Good show, everybody. Salute to everybody that tuned in. For the people that didn't get on the calls, apologies. Got to call in next time, but we appreciate everybody's attempts. We appreciate everybody for viewing. Jay Ellis, go ahead and sign out, man.
Yeah, salute to everybody. New episode, Knick of Time show dropping tomorrow morning, so definitely check out the episode about to drop. Had a little hiccup last week, but we keep it moving, we keep it pushing. New episodes come in. Definitely check out the blog too, knickoftimeshow.com. Check out articles written by my guy Fritz in the chat. Also, my guy Ken is out there killing on Twitter. He's writing for us, so definitely look at that and follow us on all social media. Also, get the merch. You see Fritz with the little link in the bottom right here for the merch. You got the Knox T in the back to get that, Frank, RJ, and etc. So shout out to you. Shout out to everybody who's watching, supporting Knick of Time and Knicks fan TV. That is all back to you, CP.
Yes, sir. Good stuff, Jay Ellis. And salute to everybody for joining once again. Hit that thumbs up button for your boys. You know the protocol. This show's available in audio podcast format. Remember that for all you guys that are new. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the major podcast platforms. You can find all of our content there in audio podcast format. Remember, I've made playlists of the Leon Rose front office. So everything you need to know about all these additions from Rose, Worldwide West, Walt Perrin, the new scout, Alex Klein, the new scout as well. All these guys are in a playlist. Check it out in your top right-hand side corner. There's also playlists for all of our special guest appearances. If you're new in this chat, we've had Oakley, Rasheed Wallace, the X-Man interview is still doing numbers, Raymond Felton, Kenyon Martin, Langston Galloway came on the show, Chris Childs, Charlie Ward. Where else are they getting this, Jails? Where else are they getting this on the grassroots level? This ain't ESPN, this ain't MSG.
YouTube, buddy.
This is Knicks Fan TV. This is the Knick of Time show. And it's made possible by the fans. We need your support. Continue to support. The super chats are much appreciated. But we know times are tight. So if financially you can't support us, you can do 3 things to support us. Share these videos, very important. Subscribe to the channel, that's free to do as well. Hit that thumbs up button, hit that like button, and leave a comment, man. Leave a comment. What did you think about the Leon Rose interview? What do you think about the coaching search? Anything you want to talk about, we'll get back to you in the comments. And we appreciate you guys, everybody for tuning in, everybody for calling in. Let's shout out some people, all the mods. Dave, appreciate it. Knicks Fan TV, Jared, definitely appreciate it. John Talento, appreciate it. Edward Stolen, Kent Scott, TM, always appreciate it. Marlon Small, we got you in here, man. Marlon Small, I was just like, you got to let Instagram know when you're going live. So, Marlon Small, glad you could make it in.
Oh, shout out. You're right.
Yeah, JL's got a shout out people in the chats, man.
Yeah, shout out Delano, shout out Fritz, shout out Angel A1, shout out to me. Shout out to Mo White. Shout out to Gregory Castillo. Shout out to Gerald Williams, Greenhouse, Carmelo Goldberg, HB Mack, Salvador. Shout out to all you guys.